Bears often captivate our imagination, sparking a potent blend of wonder and fear. Certain bear species possess an astonishing fusion of sheer strength and graceful agility, conjuring images of rare and intense encounters. In the most exceptional circumstances, a bear, acting solely on its primal instincts and armed with formidable claws, can unleash a lightning-fast and ruthlessly efficient predatory strike, leading to the consumption of an entire human body while it remains alive. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. In today's episode, we'll venture into the chilling narratives of 3 extraordinary bear-human confrontations, revealing the gruesome realities of these encounters. Welcome to Exclusion. In the heart of interior Alaska, amid the rugged wilderness and towering mountains, there existed a world of scientific exploration and adventure that few had the privilege to enter. Anchorage native Erin Johnson, a passionate biologist at the tender age of 27, was one of the lucky few who had dedicated her life to uncovering the secrets hidden within the untamed wilderness. She was a young woman with a heart deeply rooted in the natural beauty of Alaska, having spent her entire existence in its wild embrace. Erin's days were an intricate dance of expeditions, collecting soil samples, and studying the diverse flora and fauna of Alaska's remote corners. She had recently married her best friend, Abe Schmidt, sealing a love story that had unfolded over countless adventures and shared moments of awe in the great outdoors. It was a love story that embraced the rugged wilderness as much as it did each other. On a fateful Monday, Erin and her colleague, Ellen Trainer, a 38-year-old biologist hailing from Fairbanks, embarked on yet another expedition into the heart of the wilderness. Their mission was to gather soil samples for their employer, Alaska Biological Research Inc., a company renowned for its commitment to exploring the untouched corners of the state. Erin and Ellen were partners in science, kindred spirits who shared a deep-rooted love for the great outdoors and a relentless drive to uncover its secrets. Little did they know that this particular day would test their courage in ways they could never have imagined. The 2 biologists found themselves miles away from the Pogo Mine's main camp, deep in the remote heart of the Alaskan wilderness, where they were pursuing their research. Surrounded by towering trees, the crisp mountain air, and the distant calls of the wild, they immersed themselves in their work, blissfully unaware of the lurking danger. The elusive presence of black bears, with their silent prowling often culminating in unexpected rendezvous, was an unshakable reality that permeated the forest. It was an awareness that etched itself into the consciousness of those who ventured into these tranquil woods, where the boundary between adventure and danger was ever so fine. Although black bears are known to be less aggressive than grizzly bears, they may still pose dangers in the wild. What made it even more unsettling was the rare possibility that these bears might exhibit predatory behavior, associating humans with a potential food source and viewing them as prey. It was a sobering reminder that, in the wilderness, even the most cautious hiker could find themselves in a dangerous situation if a bear felt threatened. But danger was indeed nearby. An adult male black bear, a powerful and formidable creature in its own right, was stalking them with predatory intent. Its dark coat blended seamlessly with the dense forest, its eyes gleaming with an inscrutable hunger for the 2 intruders in its territory. As the minutes passed, the bear's silent and stealthy approach brought it closer and closer to Erin and Ellen. The women, their senses attuned to their scientific work, were oblivious to the approaching threat. And then, in an instant, the world around them exploded into chaos as the black bear lunged at them, leaving Erin and Ellen in a desperate struggle for their lives. It happened so suddenly that they had no time to deploy their bear spray, the last line of defense against such a predator. The women fought bravely, fueled by a primal instinct to survive. But Erin bore the brunt of the bear's ferocious assault. The sound of their cries echoed through the forest, a desperate plea for help that went unanswered. With the odds stacked against them, Ellen managed to summon every ounce of her courage and unleashed her bear spray. Not once but twice, repelling the black bear momentarily and likely saving her own life. The bear, temporarily repelled, retreated briefly but refused to give up its pursuit. It was relentless, returning again and again, driven by an unquenchable hunger and an undeniable instinct to satisfy its predatory desires. The encounter was a harrowing and tragic event, one that defied all expectations and training. In the midst of the chaos and terror, the two women displayed incredible courage. But, tragically, Erin could not escape the relentless assault of the bear, and she paid the ultimate price for her dedication to the natural world. The news of Erin Johnson's tragic death sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community of biologists, adventurers, and nature enthusiasts in Alaska. A fund was established in her memory, aimed at connecting the youth with the outdoors and fostering a love for science and exploration, a legacy that would ensure Erin's spirit lived on. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game swiftly launched an investigation into the incident, revealing that this wasn't a typical bear encounter. The initial indications suggested that it was a predatory attack, a terrifying scenario that was exceptionally rare in the world of Alaska's biologists and explorers. For Alaska Biological Research Inc., a company known for its unwavering commitment to safety and its expertise in bear country, this incident was unprecedented. They had never experienced a fatal bear attack or one resulting in injuries before. Their dedicated employees, like Erin and Ellen, were equipped with the best training and tools available to face the challenges of their field work. As the investigation continued, it became clear that the relentless predator had broken the norm, shattering the illusion of safety in a world where science and nature collided. In the aftermath of this tragedy, the company took crucial steps to enhance field safety practices, ensuring that bear guards would accompany workers in the wilderness as a standard practice. The safety of their employees became a top priority, an enduring legacy of Erin's sacrifice. Erin's legacy served as a stark reminder of the untamed beauty and the hidden dangers that lie within the heart of Alaska's wilderness. Her unwavering dedication to her work and her unmatched courage in the face of the unexpected served as an inspiration to all who treasured the great outdoors. It was in those wild and remote places that Erin had found her greatest joy and her final resting place, forever etched into the annals of Alaskan exploration and adventure. In the heart of the Arctic, on the remote Norwegian island of Svalbard, a tale of courage and tragedy unfolded, highlighting the delicate dance between humans and the wild. This desolate place, some 800 miles from the North Pole, was a harsh and unforgiving land, where the balance between survival and peril was as precarious as a tightrope walker on an icy precipice. Johan Jacobus Kootte, a 38-year-old Dutchman, had embarked on a journey to this frigid wilderness as a seasonal worker, seeking adventure and a respite from the mundanity of everyday life. Little did he know that his decision to explore this otherworldly terrain would lead to a confrontation with nature at its most savage. Longyearbyen, the town that clung to the edge of this inhospitable wilderness, was where Johan's ill-fated journey began. It was a place where the sun never set during the summer months and refused to rise for most of the winter. The northern lights danced across the dark sky, casting an enchanting spell upon those brave enough to call this place home, if only temporarily. But on that fateful night, Johan's dreams were shattered by a haunting growl, an eerie reminder that this enchanting wilderness was far from benign. It was a polar bear, the great and fearsome predator of the Arctic, driven by an insatiable hunger that led it to encroach on human territory. Johan's tent, a flimsy sanctuary against the relentless Arctic cold, offered no protection against the bear's might. As the tent trembled and the canvas walls quivered, Johan was abruptly awakened from his slumber and pulled into the dark abyss of the Arctic night. Panic gripped him as he found himself face to face with the formidable beast, a creature whose power he could barely comprehend. Polar bears, the Arctic giants, reign as the world's largest land carnivores, with adult males tipping the scales at a hefty 900 to 1,600 pounds, 400 to 725 kilograms, rendering them formidable apex predators in their icy domain. These massive creatures boast fur that appears white but is deceptively transparent and packed with air pockets, equipping them with a unique adaptation to blend seamlessly with the snowy landscape while providing essential insulation against the extreme cold. Their strength extends to the water, where they prove their mettle as strong swimmers, capable of covering remarkable distances, even up to 60 miles, 96 kilometers, during extended hunts for their primary prey, seals. However, the polar bear's reliance on ice as a platform for hunting seals becomes a poignant vulnerability in the face of climate change, as diminishing ice caps challenge their access to sustenance. Unlike their bear counterparts, polar bears forego hibernation, remaining active year-round, braving the harshest Arctic winters in their quest for food, propelled by their remarkably acute sense of smell, allowing them to detect seals from miles away. Despite their inherent strength, polar bears face a precarious future, as they are listed as a vulnerable species due to the loss of their sea ice habitat, primarily caused by climate change, which disrupts their access to seals, their primary food source. Among their captivating behaviors, female polar bears stand out for their extraordinary maternal care, giving birth to 1 to 3 cubs and raising them for approximately 2.5 years, imparting essential survival skills to their young. These majestic creatures bear distinctive fur patterns that serve as individual signatures, a boon for researchers and scientists who use these patterns to track and study polar bear populations. While polar bears have roamed the Arctic for about 150,000 years, their adaptation to this unforgiving environment has made them a unique and specialized species, symbolizing the delicate balance between survival and the ever-changing world they inhabit. The harrowing screams that emanated from Johan's tent were a desperate plea for help, but they were soon swallowed by the merciless jaws of the polar bear. It was a brutal and unrelenting attack, an act of nature at its most savage. Johan's life hung by a thread, and as the bear left him to the mercy of the frigid wilderness, he lay broken and dying, surrounded by the vast, desolate landscape. When the morning light pierced the Arctic darkness, the campsite was transformed into a scene of unspeakable horror, a chilling testimony to the tragedy that had unfolded. 6 other campers, untouched by the bear's wrath, had been witnesses to this gruesome encounter. They had come to realize, in the most terrifying manner, the sheer power and cruelty of nature, an experience that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. News of the attack spread like wildfire through the tight-knit community of Longyearbyen, shattering the serenity that had defined this remote outpost. Shock and grief engulfed the hearts of the residents, who were now confronted with the harsh reality that life in the Arctic could be both awe-inspiring and perilous. They mourned the loss of a fellow adventurer, a man who had come seeking an experience of a lifetime but had met a tragic end. Johan's friends, fellow seasonal workers on the island, released a statement, their words heavy with grief but filled with gratitude for the support they had received from the townspeople and the local authorities during this heart-wrenching time. In the aftermath, images emerged of Johan's crumpled tent, a haunting reminder of the savage encounter that had taken place within its flimsy walls. The bear, the perpetrator of this gruesome act, was found lifeless in a nearby car park, its reign of terror cut short by the swift and resolute actions of the local residents who had to protect their community. This tragedy was not the first of its kind in the region, but it underscored the unforgiving nature of life on Svalbard. The polar bears, majestic and fearsome creatures, had been pushed to the brink by a shrinking ice cap, which had robbed them of their natural hunting grounds, with their primary prey, the seals, dwindling in numbers due to the changing Arctic environment. The bears had little choice but to encroach on human territory in search of sustenance. Svalbard, also known as Spitsberg, was home to approximately 1,000 polar bears, a protected species since 1973. Until now, 5 deadly attacks on humans had been recorded since 1971, with the most recent in 2011 when a bear attacked a group of British students on a school trip. 1 young life was lost, and several others were scarred for life before the animal was subdued. The residents of this harsh Arctic wilderness were well aware of the ever-present danger, and they were advised to carry weapons when venturing outside urban areas. It was a stark reminder that in this desolate wilderness, man and beast were entangled in a delicate dance of survival, and there were no guarantees for those who ventured into the realm of the Arctic's most formidable predator. The story of Johan Jacobus Kootte served as a haunting testament to the fragility of life in the Arctic wilderness, where the line between survival and tragedy was as thin as the ice beneath their feet. It was a stark reminder of the profound and complex relationship between humans and the natural world, and the profound impact that a relentless, changing environment can have on the creatures who inhabit it. In the heart of Olivia, Minnesota, the Novotny family had woven a tapestry of deep roots and enduring traditions. For generations, they have been pillars of the community, known for their tireless work ethic, community involvement, and a shared passion for the great outdoors. Ken Novotny, the younger of the 2 brothers, at 53 years old, called Germantown, Tennessee, his home. But his heart belonged to the wild, and that was a love he had cultivated from his earliest days. Growing up in the quiet town of Olivia, he and his older brother, Keith, had spent their youth exploring the nearby woods and fields, forging a connection with nature that would shape their lives in profound ways. It was in these woods that their shared obsession with hunting was born. Hunting wasn't just a hobby for Ken. It was a calling. The thrill of the chase, the camaraderie in the wilderness, and the quietude of the woods were his sanctuary. Whether it was the sprawling forests of Tennessee or the rugged landscapes of the Midwest, he found solace and purpose in the great outdoors. Hunting wasn't merely a pastime. It was a way of life. This deep appreciation for the natural world was mirrored in his passion for sports. During his high school years, Ken became a local hero as he led the Olivia High School football and baseball teams to victory. His charisma, boundless enthusiasm, and leadership on the field made him the natural choice for captain in his senior year. His teammates fondly remembered his unwavering spirit, the way he could inspire with a smile and a word of encouragement. The lessons he learned in those high school games, where success was sweet but defeat was never bitter, stayed with him throughout his life. After high school, Ken's journey led him to academic pursuits. He attended St. Cloud State University, where he honed his skills and developed a deep appreciation for the world of finance. His affinity for numbers, analytical thinking, and business acumen set him on a path to success. He eventually earned a master's degree in business administration from the University of Minnesota, becoming a man of both intellect and action. In Germantown, Tennessee, Ken found his place in the community, becoming an integral part of its fabric. He worked for Raymond James, a respected financial services company, but he was more than just an employee. He was a mentor and friend to many. Ken believed in the transformative power of financial stability, understanding that it was the bedrock upon which people built their dreams and sought their adventures. His mission was to guide others toward that stability, a mission that reflected his commitment to improving the lives of those around him. Ken's adventures weren't confined to the walls of an office. He was an explorer, an adventurer, and he had a burning desire to explore new horizons. His yearning for the untamed led him to the Northwest Territories of Canada, where he dreamed of fulfilling a lifelong ambition. He had always wanted to hunt the majestic moose in the unforgiving wilderness of the North. In the days leading up to the journey, his excitement was palpable, and friends and family shared in his anticipation. His journey took him to the border of the Northwest Territories and the Yukon, a place where nature still reigned supreme, and dangers lay in wait around every corner. It was a land of breathtaking beauty and formidable challenges, a land that would test the limits of his outdoor skills. It was on that land, amidst the silence of the wilderness, that the tragic event unfolded. As Ken prepared the moose he had skillfully hunted, a grizzly bear attacked. Witnesses described the bear as if it had emerged out of nowhere, catching Ken off guard. The ensuing struggle was brutal and relentless, a life and death contest between man and beast. Ken fought valiantly, an awe-inspiring testament to the indomitable spirit of the human will. News of Ken's passing reverberated across the close-knit communities of Tennessee and beyond. His beloved wife, Brenda, who originally hailed from Lake Lillian, Minnesota, was devastated. Ken left behind a loving family, including 3 children, who had been the center of his world. Their lives were forever altered, and the pain of his loss was indelibly etched into their hearts. As the Novotny family grappled with the tragedy, the story took another heartbreaking turn. Keith Novotny, the older of the 2 brothers at 59, resided in Appleton, Minnesota. He had been engaged in a different kind of battle, one of health and resilience. While Ken was wrestling with nature in the wilds of Canada, Keith was battling for his own life, waiting for a kidney transplant. His health was fragile, and his family and friends watched, hoping for a medical miracle. The news of Ken's passing struck Keith hard, like a thunderbolt in a storm he was already weathering. Keith's wife, Peggy, stood by his side, offering unwavering support and love during these trying times. His role as the utilities superintendent for the city of Appleton had earned him the respect and admiration of the community. It was a position that mirrored his approach to life: steadfast, reliable, and focused on the greater good. As the days rolled on, Keith's health took a critical turn, and his battle reached its final chapter. He passed away on a quiet Sunday, the very day the community had hoped and prayed for a miracle. The Novotny family had now lost 2 beloved sons in the span of just a few days, a tragedy that was beyond comprehension. In the wake of these heart-wrenching events, the Novotny family and their communities sought solace in cherished memories. The bond of brotherhood, once a source of strength and camaraderie, now held a new significance. Forever etched in the annals of their family history, the Novotny brothers, each unique in their journeys and passions, had left an indelible mark on the lives they had touched. Their legacies lived on in the hearts of those who knew them, a reminder that even in the face of the harshest of trials, the spirit of adventure, love for family, and a commitment to community would forever endure. Olivia, Tennessee, and Appleton, Minnesota, would forever remember the Novotny brothers, a testament to their enduring impact. Their stories, like the wilderness they loved, would endure through the ages, reminding us of the fragility and resilience of the human spirit. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe for everything exclusion.